This is the Roundtable. I am super amped today because we're on the phone with Michael Chabot. He is a hotshot out in Los Angeles, California, and he is a real estate professional for 14 years now. And he runs our show on 790 KABC, and that's the largest signal that side of Mississippi. So Mississippi out west. Michael, welcome to our show this morning.
Thank you. It's an honor to be on your show.
So now you're into mortgages, right?
Yes, I am. I am a residential mortgage lender. I've been doing it for going on 15 years. Prior to that, I was in the entertainment industry. I was a producer and worked in finance. That's
awesome. Wow, so you're definitely a numbers guy. So I would imagine you know all about the market there, especially being on such a large signal. What an honor that must be. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun, as you know. You know, the whole idea behind my show that it just was about educating the consumer, right? There's so much misinformation out there in the marketplace, and I felt like I had a duty to help educate my clients and just consumers overall.
Let us know what's going on in Michael. What's going on in the Los Angeles market right now? Like, what's your median home price look like? What type of buyers do you have out there?
Sure. You know, Los Angeles is such a different city, I think, than so many places around the country because it's so spread out. Mm-hmm. Most people who come here from the East Coast, which you know I am from originally, they come out here and they're thrown off because they expect it to be like Boston or New York City, where everything's kind of on top of each other. Los Angeles has a bunch of little tiny cities within the overall blanket of Los Angeles. So you have just these microclimates, you know, in different areas. But you know, our biggest problem out here is inventory. Everything is just selling. I think we had a real estate agent on the show this past week, and we were talking about inventory. And we only have about 2 months of inventory in most areas.
Wow, that's a little bit less than what we have here.
Yeah, so it's tough. You know, we have lots and lots of buyers that are just pent up looking for properties, and then when the right ones come on the market, we're still seeing bidding wars, multiple offers, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So it's exciting. It's great for sellers. It's tough for our buyers right now.
It is, and I mean, let me ask you a question, okay? Do you believe that we're going to be hitting our peak in the housing market in 2016?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you know, I read an article. It's funny. I read an article written by an economist a few years back, and they felt like between 2015 and 2020 there would be another real estate boom, you know, a transfer of wealth. We've all heard the word millennials, right? They talked about, you know, millennials maybe finally getting into the marketplace.
Finally.
And we're seeing it here. I mean, we are definitely. We are definitely seeing younger buyers getting into the market. We're seeing our older, you know, clients that are starting to sell and maybe downsize or, you know, move to different areas.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that as well. So, I mean, here's my thought: is that home ownership in so many areas is almost unaffordable to some point. And in like the Boston market, it is insane. And we're finding a lot of folks coming down here to Rhode Island because home prices are 40, 50, 60% less than they are out in the metro Boston area. It's insane. So, I mean, there's a threshold there. You know, once rates start to tick up, you're going to start to see the market plateau in some areas. And now, what's your median price look like out in Los Angeles?
I would say, you know, across the board, the median price out here is probably somewhere in the range of about $550,000 to $600,000. You know, there are certain pockets where you can still buy a single-family home for somewhere in the high threes, low fours. But you know, out in the suburbs and the outer lying areas, you know, which are the most desirable areas here in California, I'd say your median price range is about $550,000-ish.
Wow.
You know, obviously we range anywhere from, you know, from $550,000 up to a couple $1 million, depending on where you want to be, right? And the closer you get to the coast, the more expensive it starts to get.
Absolutely. What do you think about Hugh Hefner's mansion over there? $200 million plus you get Hugh to live with.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing, right? You spend $200 some odd $1 million and you have to have a roommate. That's that's an interesting deal, but I mean, I guess for somebody who has lots and lots of money who just wants to have it as a novelty, why not, right?
Exactly. And we're going to be talking more and more about this. It is the real estate market we believe could potentially peak in 2016 in some of our top markets like Los Angeles, Boston, San Diego, San Jose, California, Dallas, Texas, and then eventually markets like Rhode Island start to catch up maybe 6 months or so after. So, don't feel that these high home prices are here forever. They're never here to stay, okay? And there could be a market correction, or there could be a slight, a lot slower growth, and then eventually, again, we could plateau and then maybe come down a few percent because, Michael, you know better than anybody because you're in the mortgage industry. At some point, when the rates tick up and when the housing prices are so high, the affordability of home ownership just doesn't make sense, and there's going to be such a smaller pool of buyers out there. Isn't that correct?
Oh, I agree, absolutely. And I think we're starting to see, we've had a little bit of a dip here in rates just because of what's happening in the economy, especially overseas.
Yes, yep.
So we've had a little bit of a dip in rates, and so we've got a lot of buyers that are, wanting to jump in and get in before rates go up, because you and I both know everything works in cycles, and eventually rates will go up. And when that happens, you're right, we're going to plateau, and pricing will probably come down. Otherwise, people will be priced out of the market.
Yeah, it will. I heard actually out in California, where Apple and Google and all those technology companies are located, I heard that home prices were so high over there that the folks that pretty much are the main source in that housing market no longer can afford to live there.
Yeah, and it's true. That's in Northern California, and it's a shame, but I mean that's one of the most expensive pieces of real estate in the entire nation.
Yeah,
I think I read that. It's pretty much in line with Manhattan, in New York City. And, the people that just, who've grown up there, live and work there, and other jobs, they've been priced out of their own neighborhoods. It's crazy.
Wow, it is crazy. I got to say, I went down to San Diego to do the Real Estate Radio Network training,
yes.
A little over a year ago. And you guys have such a beautiful, wonderful state. Nice people. The only complaint I had, though, is the food and the water.
It's so true. I mean, I'm as we talked about off air, I'm originally from back east. Yep. I miss the Italian food, the bread, the pizza, the water. It's definitely different.
Yeah.
We are blessed, though, and I think one of the things that drives our real estate market is, it's winter, right? It's the middle of winter, and, our high today is probably going to be 68 degrees and sunny. And that's on the cool side for us. Typically we run, in the 70s year round. And, so we don't have the dips in our market like you guys do, right? We don't have to worry about snow. We don't have to worry about really bad weather. So buyers and sellers can be out and about shopping, year round, 12 months a year. We are spoiled in that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, but I got to tell you, we are truckers out here in New England, and we have, give it a little bit of snow, the market does not stop, especially in a hot market like this. Yeah, I mean, if we get hit like we did last year with the blizzards, everything halts. That was awful. And as well as I know that, a real estate transaction takes 45 to 60 days to close. So, if you have a month or two crazy winter and everything stops, the market really doesn't get started back again until late March or April. So
and it's interesting, and I hope you don't mind if I ask you this question, which is,
please,
talking about timelines. We all thought that TRID, TRID, which we were all afraid of. Out here in California, we were worried that it was going to slow down our transactions, and we've been blessed, within my company, we're still closing transactions within 30 days. We are having all of our real estate agents write 45, but in most cases, we are closing transactions in 30 days. Is it the same for you guys out there on the East Coast?
Well, when we work with mortgage brokers, yes. When you get banks involved, no. I got to say, working with some of the big banks it's awful. And, I tell my clients, right out, I don't want to tell you where to go, but here's my experience. I had one of the major banks over here that took 90 days to close something, and they told me the complaint department is closed, Emilio.
Wow.
I was doing business with them. I pulled my checking account out. I pulled my savings account out, and I went to a local small bank. And craziness. But anyways,
makes a difference.
Yeah. Michael Chabot, if you are now folks, listeners, if you're in the area of Los Angeles and you need somebody to guide you through the market, Mike has an extensive network of top producing real estate agents out there. Okay. You tell Michael that Emilio sent you, and Michael can get you pre-approved for a mortgage out there. He can walk you through the process. He is a top tier professional out there. He can be reached at 888-212-4246. I'm going to say that again. It's 888-212-4246. You can also check his info out on our website under the expert contributor section on theroundtableradio.com. Again, that's theroundtableradio.com. Michael, it's been an honor to be on your show. I look forward to going on air on one of the largest radio stations in America in the next couple of weeks on your show.